The long way back. Thomas Whitaker had lived 72 years, many of them in silence. Not the peaceful kind, but the kind that echoed through the bones. Every morning, he sat by the window of his small house in Asheville, North Carolina, sipping black coffee and watching the sun stretch over the Blue Ridge Mountains. It had been more than 34 years since he last heard anything about his daughter, Lily. Since the custody battle in 1988 ended with her mother, Eleanor, taking her out of state and changing her last name. Lily was only 7 at the time. For a while, she still sent drawings and letters. Then suddenly, everything stopped. Phone calls went unanswered. Birthday cards were returned. Eventually, Thomas learned that Eleanor's new husband had adopted Lily. Legally, she was no longer his, but in Thomas's heart, she always had been. He remarried, lost his second wife to cancer, sold his construction company, moved to the mountains to live quietly. Yet every year on Lily's birthday, he lit a candle and whispered her name. Then one morning, a plain white envelope appeared in his mailbox. No return address. Inside was a single note. "Are you the Thomas Whitaker who once lived on Elm Street in Atlanta? If you are, I think I might be your daughter, LK." His hands trembled. The coffee mug slipped from his grasp and shattered on the floor. He stood motionless, holding the paper, the name that had long broken his heart now clearly written again. He wrote back carefully, not with desperation or apology, but hope. They began exchanging emails, slowly. Favorite foods, childhood memories, books they both loved. She sent him a photo, a woman in her 40s with the same brown eyes as his, standing beneath a cherry blossom tree. He cried, not from regret for lost time, but because part of him had always believed she was still out there, waiting for a sign, just like he was. They agreed to meet. She lived in Oregon. He hadn't flown in decades, but he packed his bag like a young man chasing the most precious thing in life. At a cafe near Forest Park in Portland, he arrived early, heart pounding. When she walked in, everything in him stopped. Her eyes searched, her lips quivered. Then, "Dad?" She didn't hesitate. She stepped forward and embraced him, not awkwardly, not shyly, but with a hug full of years lost and love never forgotten. In that moment, the cafe faded away. The world narrowed to two people who had found each other again. She told him everything. She had grown up believing he had abandoned her. But after her adoptive father passed away, she discovered a box filled with hidden letters and birthday cards, all written in his handwriting. They unraveled the story she had been told her entire childhood. She began searching for the truth, for him. She had built a good life, 2 children, a love for books and mountains, things she never knew she shared with him. And now, eyes full of tears, she said, "I don't want to lose you again." That Christmas, Lily brought her children to Asheville. Thomas strung up lights for the first time in years. His cooking was terrible, but the kids ate it anyway and called it Grandpa's surprise. They built snowmen, sang together. He showed Lily the tree where he had once carved her name. She stood there for a long time, fingers tracing the bark like touching something sacred. The following spring, Lily moved her whole family to Asheville. They bought a house nearby. Thomas helped paint the fence, watched the kids, taught his grandson how to fish. Every Sunday, they walked together, sharing silence and stories. One day, she handed him a small box. Inside was a ceramic mug. It read, "Best dad ever, just took me a while to find you." He held the mug with both hands as if it might vanish. He cried, then laughed, then cried again. That evening, sitting on the porch, watching his grandkids chase fireflies and hearing Lily hum in the kitchen, he felt a completeness he hadn't known in decades. When his neighbor, Mr. Carlin, asked about the woman he often saw around, Thomas smiled and said, "That's my daughter. I lost her once, a long time ago, but life gave us another chance. And let me tell you, I've never been more thankful for anything." Mr. Carlin just nodded, quietly moved. He didn't need the details. Some stories are told in the way a man sits straighter, breathes lighter, and smiles deeper. Thomas didn't get those 34 years back, but he gained something more. The sound of Dad echoing through his home, the little footsteps running down the hallway, and the warmth of laughter after too many silent nights. Sometimes the road home is long, but if you keep your heart open, it will bring you back. And for Thomas Whitaker, home had never been sweeter.